Welcome guys, my name is Tara Nicole. So today I have a beautiful guest here ready to join us. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cherryl. I am a clinical psychologist.
Okay, lovely to have you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
So Cheryl today will be guiding us on all things psychology. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I've written them down, so I hope they'll answer most of you guys' questions. So Cheryl, what is psychology for our young audience? I'm sure a lot of them need guide.
What psychology? I've always thought of psychology as just the study of human behavior. Yeah, so basically looking at the connection of the mind and that connection of the mind to the body and how the two affect each other. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the study of that essentially. How the mind affects the body and also vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty concise. Another common question is, what is the difference between psychology and a psychologist and a psychiatrist?
I know, yeah, this one is quite common.
Yeah.
So we kind of do the same thing, but psychiatrists are medical doctors. Yeah, so they have gone to medical school. They've done their whole undergrad doing medicine, and then now they do a master's and specialize in psychiatry. Yeah, so along with that, they're then able, once they finish, they're able to prescribe medication. Yeah, psychologists, we maybe we do an undergrad in psychology and then we do a master's. So maybe a 3-year undergrad in psychology, then a 2-year master's, and then go on to do a postdoctoral, so a PhD.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are also called a doctor, but it's a doctor of philosophy in psychology, and psychiatrist is a medical doctor specializing in psychiatry.
Okay.
And psychologists also are not able to prescribe medication, whereas psychiatrists can.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's no undergraduate degree in psychiatry?
I don't think so, no. You'd have to do medicine, and then now you decide to specialize in psychiatry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for that. Aha. So psychology, what would you say is it important, and why is it important?
I would say it's very important because it's about how we function in everyday life. Yeah, how we as human beings function in our society. You know, how we think, what we do, the way we behave, the thoughts we have. These are all things that help us to function as normal citizens within our societies. Now, there are different types of psychology. Yeah, there's educational psychology, which focuses on life in an educational setting. So like a school, a university, that's where you'd find an educational psychologist. And then you have a clinical psychologist like myself. So we are more in a medical setting. So we tend to work in hospitals. And our patients tend to be people with clinical issues, you know, depression, bipolar. Yeah, so conditions that may require medication. So we work hand in hand with psychologists. Yeah, and then you have child psychologists, you have occupational psychologists who work in workplaces and organizations. It's like the list goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many different settings in which we can work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most life-forming phase in an individual?
The most life-forming phase. What first comes to mind, I think, is childhood.
Okay.
Yeah, because our childhood is the way in which we've been nurtured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way in which we've been nurtured, that includes the attachment we got from our parents,
Yeah.
the relationships we had with our siblings, the relationships we had with each individual parent. This sets us up for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the attachment that you have with your parent later on affects how you, as an adult, deal with attachment even in your personal relationships.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes that far. If you happen to, let's say, experience trauma as a child, if it's not dealt with, if it's not addressed as you grow up, then this will come out later in life as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah, in some sort of way. For example, let's say you have a parent who's an alcoholic. Yeah, that's what you grow up knowing. That's what you've seen. That's what's been normalized. So that's why a lot of the time you find people who are alcoholics or who have, you know, substance use issues have had parents with the same issues. because that's what they've seen, that's what's been normalized as they were growing up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So your childhood has an immense impact on who you are as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. You've just mentioned traumas, which was actually my next question. What would you say traumas are? Could you explain them, and what are the effects of trauma in everyday life? Yeah.
Okay, traumas, I would say, are events or experiences that we as individuals go through.
Okay.
Yeah, that affect our well-being. Yeah, they're very stressful, they are out of our control, but they affect us.
Okay.
Yeah, so some people are able to deal with the traumas and kind of get on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to being normal and having a normal life.
Yeah.
Other people, and it's not to say that there's something wrong with them, they're just not able to deal with it, and that's where you sometimes develop PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, so you keep essentially reliving that event that has caused you so much distress.
Yeah.
You keep reliving it, you keep re-experiencing what was happening during that specific time.
Okay.
Yeah, so whether it's, I don't know, you're in a war,
Yeah.
there are bombs,
Yeah.
that stress, that anxiety, you keep reliving it even when you're in your home, living someplace different.
Sure.
So it now manifests itself in your everyday life. So you may see someone presenting as, hyper vigilant. So the tiniest noise, and they're
Shocks
like,
them.
yeah, they're really scared, or they maybe have nightmares because they keep dreaming about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also so they have sleep issues. Yeah, their appetite may have changed, they've lost weight, because essentially they're still in that moment.
Yeah.
They're just not able to deal with it, come out of it and process it and go back to living a normal life. Yeah.
So how can one deal with their past traumas and move forward with life?
I would say, first of all, maybe seeking the help of a professional.
Okay.
Yeah, so someone who's maybe able to deal with those traumas. Some people, that's their speciality. Yeah,
Okay.
so I deal with people who have post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, accepting what it is you've gone through, being able to talk about it. Yeah, find someone, a professional that you can talk about it with.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you talk about it, okay, you bring it out into the open, you talk about what you're going through.
Yeah.
And then with the professional you're seeing, yeah, you can probably now explore different ways of kind of coping with what it is you're experiencing. Yeah, if you're having nightmares, then perhaps you need to look at ways of kind of helping your mind to relax, calm down. Yeah, if you're having sleep issues, maybe change your sleep hygiene. Yeah, if your appetite to food is changing, perhaps that also needs to be looked into. If you've experienced maybe a sexual abuse as a child or something, then that needs to really be explored.
Okay.
Because it affects your sex life as an adult most of the time. So, you need to be willing to go back.
Revisit.
Yeah, revisit, be open.
Okay.
Yeah, and look at what it's doing in your life.
Yeah.
And be open to finding ways to change the way you're living it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So mental health is a very touchy topic, especially in African communities.
Yes.
So,
continues to be, yes.
Yeah, it needs to be talked about and normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that if you have poor mental health that there is something wrong with you. Probably it's your traumas, as you were saying, things you faced as a child. But what's the biggest misconception you know of about mental health?
The biggest misconception, for example, myself as a psychologist, when people hear that I'm a psychologist, they're like, oh, can you read my thoughts?
Can you?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a mind reader.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they think it's just coming in, talking, and then for me to tell you what to do. No. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to look at the options. Yeah, see what each option presents, will affect you in your life.
Yeah.
We're here to also help you with positive coping mechanisms.
Oh.
Yeah. So we explore your life as it is. We explore how we would like for it to be, and then we guide you. We don't tell you, no, do this. No. Yeah, we empower you with the tools to now make the decisions to make your life better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, I know counseling and psychology can be pretty expensive. Yeah. So are there any like links, or can you tell our audience some places where they can get mental health advice at a cheaper rate or maybe for free that you know of?
Funny you should say that. There are these government hospitals. You can usually go and get psychotherapy, counseling, mental health services for pretty affordable prices. Yeah, so for example, if you go to Kenyatta, there's a mental health department there. The rates are pretty pocket friendly. I would say also just down the road at Mathare. Yeah, and also a lot of mental health professionals tend to have a couple of pro bono cases that they do.
Okay.
So, it's maybe also just asking a professional if they're willing to,
help you.
Yeah, help you in that way. But, as much as you say that it's quite expensive here, if you compare the price of therapy in this country, in Africa, to our Western counterparts, we are way cheaper.
More affordable.
Yeah, but that's to be expected considering it's still an up and coming profession.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the signs of mental health issues?
The signs of mental health issues, it's just normal things. Yeah, for example, your sleep patterns have changed. Yeah, so perhaps you find yourself sleeping more than you used to, or you find yourself sleeping less than you used to, or you find that now you're having trouble getting to sleep. Yeah, that's one. You may find your appetite has changed. Yeah, so maybe things you used to like, you no longer like them, or you're eating less than you used to, or you're eating more. To cope with, the stress, the anxiety, you stress eat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What else? You're isolating. Yeah, so perhaps you don't like doing fun things that things you used to think were fun and enjoyable. You no longer enjoy the things you used to. That's a big one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you find yourself self-isolating.
Yeah.
So you prefer to be alone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With people.
Yeah.
I've had people mention that, but mostly around the younger audience, they refer to it as social battery. Okay, I know that's a thing, but I feel like if your social battery is always low, that could be a sign of mental health issues.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a very crucial word you said there. Always. It's the time frame.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be low today, but tomorrow I'm back to my normal self.
Yeah.
If these symptoms you find are going on for a duration of, let's say, 2 weeks, a month more, then that's something that's an issue of concern. Yeah. If you find you're having trouble sleeping for like a month, 2 months, 3, that's an issue, because that's gonna now affect, how you're functioning at work, at school, your memory also. Yeah, you can't remember things, simple things like concentration is also depleting. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the duration of time. If it's going on for a long period of time, then it's something that you need to address.
Okay. Speaking of addressing, how can one deal with the signs of mental stress or anxiety? Yeah, let's say it's a common thing that somebody when you're meeting with people or when you're socializing, you're always in a panic, or you're just stressed all the time mentally. How do you cope with that?
Well, first of all, I would say is recognizing, so being self-aware, being aware that, oh my goodness, I'm in a panic. Yeah, or I feel like I'm always in a panic when I'm around people. Okay. This is happening more and more often. Being aware of yourself, that's number one. Okay. Many people are not aware of themselves.
Sure.
Yeah, so being aware of emotions that you are experiencing as well. Yeah, am I angry? Do I get angry a lot? What is it that's making me angry? Yeah,
okay.
Who is it that's making me angry?
Yeah.
So once you recognize that this is what I'm experiencing, then now you can go to the why. Yeah, why is this happening?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one thing, is being self-aware. There are lots of things that you can do to help improve your well-being.
Yeah.
So the most common is exercise, physical activity.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just feeling really low, you find like a walk.
Yeah.
Let me go outside for like a walk, even 10-15 minutes. You just feel prepped up,
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it releases the good hormones. You start feeling like, okay, it's not so bad,
True,
you know?
true. The endorphins kick in.
Yes. So
Yeah.
physical activity, exercise, getting out in nature. Look at this place.
True.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's quiet, the birds. It's
True.
Yeah, nature just does something to, I would say, so many people. I don't know if it's the greenery, the fresh air. It's really nice for everyone. Just getting out in fresh air, in nature. Yeah.
Calms you.
Yeah. Mindfulness. So being mindful about, like I said, the moment. So being in the moment. Yeah. If you find, okay, I'm about to speak in front of people and I'm feeling really anxious. So you recognize that that's happening.
Yeah.
It's because you're about to speak in front of people. And also normalizing that. It's normal for me to be feeling anxious, so let me just try and calm myself down. So let me just breathe through it.
Sure.
Yeah, so relaxation exercises also help a bunch. Yeah, so that relaxation can be anything from breathing deeply to imagery. So getting to a relaxing place in your mind, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, just to calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It works. I'm telling you, man.
Oh.
Yes, it does. Just go into your mind and just think of the most relaxing place you'd like to be.
Yeah.
And just close your eyes for 5 minutes and be there. Be there, think of the smell, what you'd be touching, what you'd be feeling, seeing, hearing. Just be there.
Yeah.
And you find your heart rate's gonna decrease and your breathing's gonna normalize.
Okay.
And you'll be like, I get this.
That's
I
good
can do
advice.
this. Yeah.
There's a lot of theories about therapy in general. So would you say therapy is important? Because there's this thing of the reason they're called shrinks is because they shrink your brain or wanakupima. So like, what are your thoughts on therapy, and is therapy important?
First of all, that's a misconception that they shrink. No such thing.
Okay.
And yes, it's very important. And people always feel like you have to wait to be in a moment of crisis for therapy.
Okay.
But no, you don't. Like therapy, you can even go if you just need to make some important life decisions. Yeah, go speak to a therapist. They're kind of, it's somebody you're speaking to someone who's seeing it from a different perspective. So they can kind of help you think it out. Yeah, and also sometimes just listening to yourself speak. Yeah, hearing yourself talk about the issue you're going through just helps you figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, so I would definitely, what's the word? I would definitely be for therapy because that's what I do. I help people in therapy, so, and I've seen the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps a massive deal.
Okay.
Yeah, a massive amount.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of taking up therapy myself,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Not necessarily because there's any particular problem, but just to like dig into some of the reasons I do some things, or just to understand myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, I would definitely say go for it, even if it's just, 1, 2, 3 sessions. Yeah. You kind of find out why, or it gives you enlightenment to who you are and why you do certain things and where those behaviors came from.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I do this because of this. I didn't even realize it. Or I didn't even realize I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds very interesting. Yeah, but definitely now I'm even more intrigued. So.
Yeah. I was talking to, sorry for the random, but I was talking to my sister I think 2 weeks ago, and I was like, the first therapy session is a very, very comprehensive history taking. So from when you were in your mother's womb up to present day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thinking was, if everyone could have that picture of themselves, won't you understand yourself a bit more?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it? Yeah, you're like, okay, so this is my childhood right here. This is my adolescence. This is me as an adult. These are the things I've gone through, and they brought me to where I am today. Yeah.
Basically molded you into your current state.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not actually me talking a lot. It's for the client to do most of the talking and for me to listen and actively listen and even listen to what's not being said. Yeah. So we look at the nonverbals. Yeah. We look at you. How are you dressed? You know, how's your body posture? You know, how's your hair? How are your nails? These things tell us a story.
True.
Yeah.
True.
How's your eye contact?
Yeah.
You know, how's your mood during the session?
Yeah.
All these things tell us something during that therapy session. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so especially after COVID, post-COVID, there's been like a lot of ups and downs. And I know us as the youth, the current generation that's stepping up to take over the millennials. I don't know there's a whole like that's a whole other story.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's a lot of current like change
Yeah.
as we progress, even career-wise, life-wise, and even us. Like personally, I have a lot of friends who now have kids. Some are getting married.
Yeah.
Then there's some who haven't even started their careers yet. Like there's a lot going on at this stage. So, what would you address to help the youth cope with the changing times currently?
Well, first of all, it's knowing that these are changing times. These are different times. These are very challenging times. You know, like you've mentioned, millennials. I'm a millennial, but there are people, we're having kids, but many of us are, you know, still in our parents' homes. Things are really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as people are employed, it's really hard for people to support themselves at the moment and, you know, move out.
Yeah.
And be completely 100% independent.
True.
Now that's different to our parents' times. People finished university or school and they got jobs like this.
Yeah.
And they were able to support themselves.
True.
Yeah, so the youth right now are going through a time when, you know, unemployment is at a record high. Now, if unemployment is high, that just trickles down to every part of society, everything really.
Yeah.
Being able to support yourself, being able to have a family. These are all things you now have to question because, you know, where's the money?
True.
Where are the jobs?
Yeah.
You know, what can I expect for the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all things that the youth are experiencing. And we, as the older generations, have to be aware of that. This is what they're going through and these are the things that they're experiencing. And with that in hand as well, they're just different. You know, they know who they are. They're not afraid to say that they're having issues.
No.
They're very vocal. Yeah, so you have generations clashing because there are other generations who are like, keep it shut, keep it tight.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. Like we don't complain, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have generations who are talked at and told to be quiet and listen.
True.
But the youth are not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to be heard. So these are things we all have to be aware of. Us different people in this society, we have to be aware of all these things that are going on if we're gonna, you know, make things better.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's solid. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to give our audience one piece of advice, what would it be?
Right. That's a big one, but there's one thing I always say, even to my kids, to my siblings, to people I know, I'm like, be adaptable.
Yeah.
Because I go down to simple biology. Those who are able to adapt survive.
Sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah, you see all those plants there? Yeah. The ones surviving are the ones that are able to adapt and move around and get to the sun. The ones that are unable to shrivel and die. So be adaptable. If you're going through difficult, challenging times, try and do things differently. Yeah, try and think differently. Come together, find like-minded people and try and find different solutions. Be innovative. Yeah. Don't stop speaking your mind. Keep doing that. Yeah.
So thank you, Cherryl, for joining us for this episode. I'm sure our audience will find a gem or two right in there. But there was this number we were given in school for a mental health portal. It's a collaboration between the Rotary Club Lavington and the Red Cross Kenya for self-care mental health. So if you want to access the portal, just dial star 789 star 1199 hash. I'll write it down below, and definitely you will get some sort of help there. Yeah, personal help. Yeah, so
Great.
Cheryl will also send us some links. You'll find them down below in the description for all things materials that can help you with your mental health. Yeah.
Yes, I will.
So thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank you too.
And thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.